Welcome back to Need for Speed The Run. We finally not quite gotten out of California, but we are out of the park.
Well, at least Death Valley should provide some significant change of scenery.
You start seeing some pretty different stuff than we've seen up till this point. You know, Ellery Lake was pretty much all technical, but this first track, Panamint Valley, this route is 100% pedal to the floor.
Panamint sounds like a very strange flavor of gumbit.
It does. Also, during this cutscene, watch the background.
Hammer down, Jack, or you won't make it to Vegas in the top 150. Oh, and Jack?
Yeah.
No casinos.
Never even crossed my mind.
Yes, that Porsche did pass us twice.
I see. I also have a couple of comments on that cutscene. One, nice job having not NOS bottle there.
I did notice that. That's a really nice touch.
And as well, we may harp on this game's story. That scene actually included one good line of dialogue, which was no casinos, in that it was very concise and told us very clearly exactly what Jack's problem is.
That's a really great way of going about it. Because it reinforces the fact that he's probably in debt to the mob for gambling.
As I say, it's just a very good line in terms of providing a very concise explanation for why exactly we are in this nonsense.
Remember, world authors, less is more.
Speaking of which, I see we're still in the Super Snake of Sadness.
Of course we are. Why would we ever get rid of this car? It's great and totally not frustrating me right now as I take it off-road.
At least the pack is pretty tight and free ahead of you, so you probably get that triple or quadruple as I can see now.
Yeah, this is definitely going to get more complicated as we get back onto the highway, though. This is a very narrow road, which means we don't have a lot of opportunity to dodge.
At the very least, you'll look like you're taking decent advantage of oncoming bonus. Oh, wow.
Yeah, if you watch the gear shift there, you can see I'm like, oh shit, I just got wrecked. What gear am I in? Oh, I'm in 6th. Okay, downshift to 5th, here we go.
I also saw that when the truck cut them off, that the car in 4 spaces ahead of you just rammed right into the side of the mountain.
The AI is normally really good about dodging traffic, but sometimes it's not. It generally depends on how close they are to other AI competitors. They don't give a crap about where you are. This last section of Panamint Valley is 100% go as fast as possible.
Does that count as 2 oncoming lanes to work off of?
No, it just counts as the one. You're either building up oncoming nitrous or you're not. This jump is a run-ender.
Oh yeah, I can see it started to lose speed on it.
You have no idea which way you're going, but I had to maintain my nitrous to do this.
Well, you got there, and your hood hates you for it.
Fortunately, we have the power of off-screen to manage that.
To say nothing of the fact that you passed a Porsche, which didn't count for your overall run position. I need to stop talking about that, don't I?
I don't know how they're tracking this. Maybe it was a bug in their software that they're using.
Clearly.
We're finally sort of getting close to getting out of California. Death Valley is our last stop. It's a long road from here, and we get to do another battle event.
All right.
Check out this sweet Challenger.
You decided to give him a little kiss there, but...
I was actually trying to overtake him, and then he swerved in front of me. What a jerk. So let's just overtake him here.
Oh, with nary a moment to spare. And you've pulled into a gas station.
I have. Completely was not able to talk about this the last time we saw a gas station. But in the run, gas stations are where you can change your car. You can see all the T4 cars we have, which are sort of approaching supercars or sort of like Lamborghini level supercars. We can pick out Jack's M3, which we ditched at the beginning. It's probably still back in San Francisco.
I'm crossing my fingers that you end on one of the Nissans.
That's our Super Snake? Mm-hmm. Oh, hey, look, a Porsche.
Now gotta show some love to the great state of Baden-Württemberg at some point.
It just wouldn't do if we were playing Need for Speed and not making use of that sweet, sweet Porsche license money. I have no idea why the Challenger just stops in the middle of the road. It's like, well,
he wanted to give you a sporting chance, surely.
Well, apparently so.
He saw you pull over at the gas station and just went, well, he's the bigger man in that car.
I have no idea how I managed to do that without crashing.
It's a miracle of Porsche.
The Porsche is actually an incredibly good car, unsurprisingly. The engine will weigh down on the back wheels, which means that even at speed, you've got some really good traction. Its gear layout is a little bit different from the Super Snake. The Super Snake expects you to pretty much be in 5th gear if you're about 110 or above. Here, I don't get into 6th gear until I hit about 165. I'm also able to overtake that Gumpert Apollo S with ease.
Well, I can certainly see a very clear difference in terms of just handling from your Super Snake to this.
It's almost as if this was built to go around corners or something. Because the Porsche has such great grip at any speed, it makes dodges like that a lot easier. It doesn't off-road any better.
Regardless of that small smack at the end, it looks like you finished it with space to spare.
Fortunately, I did.
So it looks like 9 jerks remain between you and arbitrary objective number 1.
Unfortunately, yes. But we will find them in due time. We will find them, and we will overtake them.
It's not quite Brian Mills and Taken's line there, but
I work with what I'm given.
If it was the cop from Need for Speed Rivals, he would find them and he would probably kill them.
That man has some interesting views on public order.
To say nothing of police brutality, but this isn't Rivals. Rivals is a game in which a panicky cop like that does not belong.
Exactly. Check out this intrepid cop.
Well, he certainly gained on you fairly quickly, but...
Their PCs are surprisingly fast.
Remind me, American cops don't drive Crown Victorias anymore?
They did until about 2012. A lot of older police departments with older equipment will still drive the Crown Victorias. But most of them are trying to move over to this newer Ford model, which I think is just called the Police Interceptor. I don't really know anything about it.
All I know is that it factored into Hot Pursuit 2010 at some point, but...
It did, because you can get what was at the time of Hot Pursuit, which was 2010, a concept car. And you can drive it, and it's actually pretty good.
Well, it gotta be in order to be making some of these attempted overtakes that I'm seeing here.
You gotta give it to this cop. He has no fear.
Hey, maybe it is the cop from Rivals showing up in a little early cameo.
Coach 6 driving recklessly.
I'm fine.
Are you sure? Whoa. Nice jump.
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure that where that cop is concerned, you are pretty out of control.
Maybe.
No visual. Trying to reestablish.
For the most part, in this back half of Old Spanish Trail, I'm going to try and stay on the left because I wanted to build up my nitrous, but when you come over these crests, it's very, very easy to not see a car because it's hidden behind a hill. So you don't have the reaction time and then you just wreck out. So I'm sort of trying to balance my nitrous gain with that.
Let me guess, did the wreck out happen on a test run?
Oh, of course it did.
Reduce speed! Reduce speed!
That is pretty much about as common as something in Need for Speed as I've ever seen.
Yep. Check out how good the Porsche handles when I have to make sudden dodges.
To say nothing of the dust.
Yeah, I'm not really that bothered by the dust. It can seriously affect your vision, but it doesn't affect your handling or anything, obviously.
Beyond that, is the dust randomized, or is it fairly fixed as to where it appears?
It's sort of fairly fixed, but sometimes it shows up with more gusto than other times. There's basically like a radius and an epicenter that you can get out from, and there will be dust. That Mustang, by the way, literally does not show up on the map, I think, until you get about 1 mile from the finish line.
All I can say is now you're in position 151, and if you'll pardon an old joke, you gotta catch 'em all.
Yep. We've still got a little bit of work to do before we hit Las Vegas.
I'm curious to know what you mean by that. Is this a...
Meet Nikki and Mila. They're our first boss event.
There are boss fights in this game.
There are boss fights in this game. They usually come with something interesting to kind of give you context. Check out Jack sweating in the summer heat.
That's
I'm absolutely going to gif that.
That's not a great expression to start on. I can't help but think, is he pissing into his gas tank when he does that? Oh, this is where it's going.
Remember, this game was from 2011.
Yeah.
It only makes sense that you would introduce the female character's ass first.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not just one, but two.
And, you know, she's checking it out apparently as well. Oh, Lord help me. This Gormless jackass.
I love that face.
Jack, get back in the race.
Oh, thank God Christina Hendricks is here to bring us back to the world of the living. He's so pissed off. Did you notice how he just smashed that gas filler in there?
Oh, yeah. Come on, Jack. Very nice.
This is probably my favorite one.
Well, I think we're going to discover many new favorites as we go through this.
Oh, yes.
Find ourselves having to replace all kinds of licensed incidental music. Whoa! She does not care about driving on a lane divider, does she?
Well, neither did I.
Alright, tell me about something that's differentiating a boss fight in this game from other standard rival elimination events.
There really isn't anything that differentiates a boss battle in this game from a regular battle event. The main thing is that the AI is much, much faster and less forgiving. But in this case, they're kind of chumps, so...
Well, I mean, first boss fight.
First boss fight, but... Some games have very difficult first boss fights. The section where we run under the monorail is really cool.
I'll admit, I haven't been to Vegas. Is the monorail a big fixture of that?
It is, actually. I would like to say, based on my knowledge of Fallout New Vegas, it goes straight to the Las Vegas Strip.
Attention patrol, wanted suspect spotted. Currently heading east on I-95. Available units clear for pursuit. 10-4 working on cover, standby.
Well, at least the cops decided to join the party.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they don't have much of the party to hit. We're pretty much toward the end.
They could tell there was fan service nearby. Also, I can see that the objective marker is get to 150th, but since this was a match against two rivals, does that mean you still complete the event if you only eliminate one?
Stay focused, Jack. Now we have to get to Chicago in the top 50.
No, if you only manage to pass one but not the other, then you'll, it will fizzle out and make the sad noise and then sort of gray out and make you restart.
Ah. Well, at least Christina Hendricks was there to reward us with more exposition.
She didn't really give us a lot. Our new objective is to get to Chicago in the top 50. You may or may not remember that Chicago is all the way on the other side of the country in Illinois.
So am I to assume that there's going to be some off-screen?
You would be safe to assume that.
I can kind of tell now that the dots are marking actual stages, yeah?
They do.
Code 3, repeat, code 3.
But it's not individual stops in those stages, it's just 1 out of 10 stages and that gets a dot.
Blocks northeast 1.
So now we're in Old Vegas and trying to get ourselves onto the strip.
Lost visual contact.
The cops are still following us, unfortunately.
Well, it's interesting that you get sort of a suburban shortcut right there.
Yeah, this is a really cool race, actually. The way they set it up is basically as a sort of down and back.
Yeah, all units clear for 1073 ASAP.
So you turn off the road here, and you can cut through these old houses in Outer Vegas and ruin these poor kids' basketball courts.
Heads up, cover, we'll move fast.
I kind of got physics into the wall there. But then you boomerang back, and now we're going back down Las Vegas Boulevard. And trying to dodge cops on the way.
Boy, that's quite a number of cops.
And they only get more and more frustrating.
1073.
Further to that, am I correct in saying that the actual sort of gambling-centric portion of Las Vegas technically doesn't have its own police force?
He's taking himself out. I'm on him.
I don't believe it has its own, but that's a good question.
I don't know, it's just one of those weird, interesting things I remember hearing about Las Vegas, that because of all the gambling, it's not actually police that police the areas with all the casinos, but just private security.
Did not know that. Believe it or not, it is actually very easy to lose that event. Most of your competitors will get caught up in the police ambush, but there's always one guy at the end who may or may not beat you.
I'm sorry, but I also have to appreciate how in the angle of this closing shot, it's clearly showing Jack's about to hit that tree.
No, he pulls it out.
He pulled it off. I'm sorry for doubting you. Good old Stuttgart.
Yep.
Yeah, target's still mobile. We need to set up a perimeter now. Coordinating unit, stand by.
And good old police.
Well, I mean, at least in this case, you're in a major city, so increased police presence is something to be expected.
Still mobile, swing area. Suspect heading east into an alley.
These cops are rabid.
Again, they're not quite Need for Speed Rivals cops.
He got through. Clear at 6, I'm taking him out.
No, they're not. But they try.
Hold position.
Ooh.
Look at all these ambushes.
I like that they're actually helpfully marked on your mini-map, though.
I sure hope nothing happens to our Porsche.
Come on, push him.
Oh no, something happened to our Porsche.
All right.
We've been busted.
It's Grand Theft Auto now.
He's out of the car. Police! Stand down. Stand down. Put your hands.
Oh no, whatever will we do?
Clearly some form of quick time event?
Hands up, folks. Come back. Get back.
Check out that cop with the shotgun. Holy shit.
They were, again, run, Jack! The worst chase music is following you. Oh dear. Shenanigans!
When you go through this cutscene, even if you turn off the licensed soundtrack, it will still play the beginning of the actual song. So I just cut out all the audio.
Marvelous work.
No, cop! We're trying to make a quick escape.
Oh. Well, I guess that works. Oh no, Ruru! Oh.
I did not expect I would ever boss fight a dog in a Need for Speed game.
Is that even a police canine?
No, it's just a dog.
Just some jerk's dog.
No, it's probably just a stray dog.
Okay, so now you go through a souvenir shop. Oh yeah, perfect disguise there, Jack. Oh. And now it doesn't matter because there goes the hat. All right, he can dodge traffic, he can dodge a ball. And of course,
I hope we don't have to outrun anything today.
Oh dear. Yes, because clearly sliding was the ultimately correct answer, despite possibly being the worst thing I can think of to do under those circumstances.
Look at how much stuff we broke.
God damn it, Jack.
This is supposed to be the hero.
Well, I mean, in pretty much every Need for Speed game, you are some flavor of anti-hero. At best.
At best being the operative part of that.
Well, I guess you, need a new vehicle at this point?
We're gonna figure that out.
Off screen?
So we're on the Las Vegas Strip, and we have a lot of high rollers on the Las Vegas Strip. So where better to find a nice car that we're totally not jacking?
Well then.
Yep.
Clearly, Jack doesn't see this as digging his hole any deeper, but hey, we got the Lambo.
Remember, this is supposed to be the hero. There's the Porsche we just drove.
Nice.
But we're not driving that again. That's a completely different Porsche.
Come on, Lambo.
It'll be the Lambo or the Aston. Both are very fast.
You could disguise yourself as the cops if you drive the Gallardo.
That's what we're doing.
Yay.
The Gallardo is a much different flavor of vehicle than the Super Snake or the Porsche. For one, it's four-wheel drive.
Oh. I'll look forward to seeing how it performs next time.
Yep, next time we are going to put the Lambo through its paces. But that was stage 3. What did you think?
It had quite an ending.
I thought you might like it.
Quite a beginning, and a pretty good middle.
Next time on Need for Speed The Run, we're gonna leave Las Vegas.
All right, time to see what the other states have to offer.